I would like, if anybody's watching, I've never done this. This is my time to do this. But like a live apology from one of the band members would be great to the fans. I think it's fucked up the way that we just kind of disappeared, man. I fucking hate it just as much as you do. And like, I apologize to anybody watching, man. Like, you didn't deserve to just be left hanging.
So do you miss the band dynamic at all, or do you prefer having absolute control over what you're creating?
It kind of gives me anxiety to have complete control sometimes. I like diverting sometimes to my friends for advice and musical input.
I'm right here with you, man.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's also like, I like to, there's a balance, you know? Some projects, I front the project, I'm producing the project. It's like, I know that I'm wearing the hat on that project. And there's other projects, like with this last album with Eureka, man, it was like, I had the hat off a lot. Like I said in the documentary, man, it was a lot like, I produce a lot of my own stuff, so I wasn't producing this record. And I noticed at first, the first couple sessions, I'm like, oh, like, I was being picky about like, oh, maybe we could do, you know? And then I was just like, nah, I'm gonna let these guys work their magic. That's how I'm gonna get their sound, so. And with Iya too, man, like I learned, with Iya Terra, we learned how to kind of, 10 years, like we were all producers too. So like there was a lot of cooks always in the kitchen.
Yep.
And that's
somebody had to be a chef, or somebody had to be a, what do they call it? Cooks and chefs?
Yeah, true. All the time. We were always designating we were always kind of taking turns kind of leading the charge on different songs and stuff. And that's what made it so special and the work so heavyweight. But you learn a lot doing that, you know? Like at first, we were stepping on each other's toes a lot. We'd be like, oh God, and we'd be driving each other crazy a little bit, you know? But we learned how to work together pretty good for a while, you know? And,
yeah. Well, that's what we're going through right now.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, we're kind of going through that right now. Like, I feel you, man, because there's a lot, I could do a lot of this on my own, but I love sharing it. You know what I mean? Like, for me, the fun is sharing it with others. And the collection I have now with Z Frequency is three of us are engineers, and we all have our opinions and inputs. And there's a little bit, not a lot of toe stepping, you know, but enough to be like, hey, can I suggest something, you know? And then if there's too much pushback, we're like, all right, no, go ahead, you know?
But nobody fucks with the drummer. The drummer mixes his own shit and sends you the drum mix, and that is the drum mix.
He says, don't change this. It's always the drummers, man.
So when I was working with him years ago, we started doing this, throwing tracks back and forth, you know, and I'm like, hey, do you want to do drums on this track? He's like, sure. So he sends me the tracks, and I'm trying to mix them like dry. And he gave me a reference track to go with all of the other tracks. So it's like 8 tracks and then a reference track. And I couldn't get my mix to sound anywhere as good as his reference track. And so then I was like, dude, just mix it yourself. Just send me what you got, because I ain't gonna be able to fix it any better than you can. So
good for him, man.
Yeah. So we work on all now we're at the point where I was doing a lot of the mixing, and we're gonna kind of do a little bit of a rotating between songs and stuff. But I love
that's the way to do it. Collaborative mixing, man. If he can mix his drums, like great, like focus on that, and it helps you guys out too.
Right. Well, I sat there and I printed off a little bit of notes just on your documentary. One of my favorite parts of the whole documentary is when you mentioned that the majority of the songs were just written kind of on the spot.
Recorded in Sound Compound Studios in Long Beach, Eureka Sounds Studio.
Oh.
Yeah, I would check down a couple hours, like once every couple weeks to Long Beach, and it's like 2 hours south of me, and they have their own studio there, and so we would track everything there. So I'd drive down there, and we would meet up, have some coffee, have a spliff, kind of just like sit down and write a song, and that's how it was made. Gotten in trouble before with past projects for just like for not coming to the studio with stuff written, and I don't really operate like that. I think it's really beautiful when you just find the energy of where you're at and let it kind of like guide you. And that's just what we did with this album. It was pretty cool. Everyone was on the same wavelength with that.
Well, the vibe I got out of that whole documentary was just like, it was connection, it was love, it was like.
Well, so for the nice folks at home watching, we've referenced the documentary several times. Nick, what's the name of it, and where can people find it?
You can find it on my YouTube channel, Nick Sefakis. It's called In Time, Making of Album Documentary.
Yep.
And or something like that. You could just type in Time Album Documentary.
It is called The Creation of In Time, Nick Sefakis meets Eureka Sound Album Documentary.
There you go.
And I'm going to put a link in the description below.
Yeah, check it out.
Absolutely,
there
man.
it is.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, I put a lot of time into that. I just got Premiere Pro when I started that, so that was kind of my first project, making a documentary style.
Yeah.
We watch a lot of documentaries on Netflix and stuff, so I was like, I want to try this.
I tried an attempt to do one of our local ska bands called Stretch Armstrong, and they they got together for a reunion at Fork Fest, and I had this great idea to film a documentary, and I brought all my cameras, and I got some good footage, but the one I really, really wanted, I didn't set my camera up right, so the angles were just horrible, and it didn't work. But
that's a whole nother beast.
Man.
Videography.
Yeah, and I still. That was my first attempt. There'll be more, but
Yeah.
I'll keep going at it. But yeah, like I just got to mention real quick. So how I even learned about you was I actually heard your name before I heard the name Iya Terra, and that was through your grandfather, because he was neighbors with my grandmother and came over there one day, and he was talking about you and how proud he was and how he just like. And he's like, yeah, he's in this reggae band called Iya Terra, and I'm like, oh, I've never heard of him, and I had to look him up. I was blown away, dude. I love reggae. Like one of my first concert was Ziggy Marley, right? I didn't even know who Bob Marley was at the time I saw Ziggy Marley. I was just a kid, and love reggae. So I was just blown away. I was blown away, man. And
rest in peace, my grandpa, Guy Ventura, man. He was my biggest fan. That's awesome. He's
he was totally cool dude. In fact, it was a few years later that through your grandma that I got a chance to meet you in person, and that's when I met you and Sandy.
So we were in their living room. That was fun.
I felt a little awkward though, because your grandma's like, so all right, what's your name? Go ahead. Here's Nick. Say something. I was like, hi. It was just kind of funny.
Thanks for going with it, man. I know it was kind of like, I'm sure it was kind of awkward. It's all good.
Well, for me, it was like, because I'm kind of fanboying a little bit, right? Like, oh, it's totally cool, and then my
grandma's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, she is. This is cool. She's a spitfire, man. I love
fanboy over my grandma still too. It's sick.
Yeah. So yeah, it was cool though. And then some of your other family was there, and Sandy was there, so they kind of broke the ice a little bit to make it a little bit more, And my mom was just standing there like, just like, all right, you guys got to go eat. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, no, it was good to meet you, bro. Now we're here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We'll gotta meet up again sometime when you're in town. For sure,
man.
Yeah. So let's move on here. Let's start talking about In Time. My favorite. Wow. So the whole album is just amazing. When it first came out, I listened to it. I was actually on my way to rehearsal, and I blasted the whole album all the way down. And they all are just fantastically done. They have like that classic roots vibe. It's almost like that, the almost like, I wouldn't say 70s, but like it's got a Bob Marley, Peter Tosh sort of vibe and feel to it.
I listen to like 70s, 80s.
Yeah,
reggae,
70s roots rock, roots dub reggae stuff. Not roots rock, but I mean.
No, yeah. Back in the time.
Yeah, but it's like it's almost like, but with updated technology. You know what I mean? Like it was a little crisper sound, and it was clean and fresh.
Thanks, bro.
You and Eureka Sound are like, it's like peanut butter jelly, man.
Hey,
like you guys go together really well. And it's not only, you don't always do just like roots reggae stuff. You do some hip hop stuff in there too. And it blends very well, man. Like you got a really cool style, and your voice is very distinct. You know what I mean? And I just did a spotlight on you. I hope I did you proud. I hope I did you good, man. But my favorite song is Mary Jane, and it's not for the reason that you might think, right? But it starts off, you're like falsetto. You start off singing falsetto, and then it gets a little deeper, a little brighter, a little bolder, and then it goes from like this real sweet to like this full arsenal of Nick Sefakis. And I love that. It's the craftsmanship on that song is just superb. That was my favorite song.
Thanks, bro. I tried exploring my falsetto voice more in this record. I had only done it once on Keep On Loving You, and a lot of people were kind of requesting that I did more of that. And
You
so
do
I was
it
like,
well.
I'm just gonna try it.
Yeah, you
Thanks.
do. I can't do it like that, man. I thought about that. I'm like, man, I should try that falsetto thing, and it was like,
What was the
Yeah, some of us try to sing falsetto and we're like we sound like fucking Tiny Tim, man. With the
yeah.
tiptoe through the
Sometimes I
tulips.
feel like, dude, yeah. Sometimes I feel like I sound like Minnie Mouse or like Mickey Mouse when I listen back, but
Oh,
I think
boy.
I'm just hard on myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy, that's great though.
But
Yeah.
thanks, man. The head voice. That's what I was saying. Yeah, like
Yeah.
with Keep On Loving You, people were like, yeah, you should do that more. So, yeah.
You do it well, or at least you did it well.
Thanks, bro.
You definitely brought your A game to that.
Thank you, bro. It gives me more range as a vocalist because I have a deep voice. And at first, when I was first coming into my voice, I was like, man, I cannot sing a lot of these songs I want to sing by like, I was listening to like Tribal Seeds or
Yeah.
even Bob Marley. So many of these artists have such high voices, dude.
Right.
So I had to like start digging and find artists that had lower registers. And I came across Midnight and like
Nice.
Von Benjamin and different, Albert Ozzy. And there's so many artists out there that have like these lower voices. I was like, all right, how do they use their voice? And so I kind of locked that in. But the next step, I was like, dude, I need to hit some of these high notes now. Cause I listen to a lot of soul music and stuff.
Yeah.
And these dudes are just up there, just cruising, soft and nice.
Yeah.
So, that was me exploring that more on this record. And because I really love soul music, and that's kind of, you can hear that kind of stuff in Mary Jane too, like
Yep.
just that old like doo-wop, the barbershop quartet, big
Yep.
harmonies,
Yeah.
the response harmonies and stuff. It's just
Excellent, man. Excellent.
Thank
And
you, man.
the entire album's really good. Just about
man.
everything you do is really good. But it had like the whole like Jaw for Real is good. In Time is excellent. I just had to suggest Mary Jane because like in our spotlight we're like, pick a song. What's your favorite song on it?
no, that one's crushing. It's my
Yeah,
number
yeah.
one song right now. So
Is it? Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there's
people feel you. It seems like
yeah,
people agree with
yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
I think we got to shout out, dude, on YouTube. Mary Jane's at like, I think it's at like, it was the last time I checked, it was like 3 million streams or something crazy, bro.
Really?
So, it was it's my first YouTube video to just pop off. So
Right.
when we get
Wow,
off the
man.
chat or whatever, I'll check how many YouTube
Yeah.
views it has right now. But
That-
it popped, dude.
That is crazy, man. Yeah, that's awesome actually. Because
To me, that's so much bigger than like an iTunes chart. Like you said, like knowing
Right.
there's like an active audience out there that's really just bumping my shit.
right.
Like
Yeah,
that
and
means so
that's-
much to me.
That's where it's at, like I don't know, like I'm trying to with the whole vanity metrics with Spotify and streams and all this stuff, it never adds up to really that much money. If we want to play gigs that are worth like a lot of like I've actually reached out to other bands and stuff and they're like, cool, what's your band name? And they look us up and they're like, our songs have even hit like 1,000 streams. You don't want the vanity metrics, but you kind of need it in order to be seen, or to be even taken seriously. Let's just put it that way. So, but like your documentary, I think when I checked it, it had like like around 500 views, but it's epic.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I spend so much time on stuff like that, and then
I know, but
you never know
like,
what's gonna hit, man. Sometimes I'll
that's
post
what I
a
mean.
reel and it'll
Right.
hit, and it's just like, what the?
I've got it up right now. 2.7 million views.
Oh.
and it's a music video or a lyric video or what?
No, it's just the song, man. It has the
Just the
album art.
audio.
Yeah, so that was
Wow.
cool. And there's like
That
lots of
is
the
sick.
comments are lots of worldwide comments and
That's
lots
it
of
right there.
different languages.
Yep. Reggae's worldwide. You know what I mean?
For sure, man. And reggae festivals in the world are in Europe, man. Like this shit pops. Like Spain, Europe, all these, the UK.
Right.
My biggest fan base is my top stream city on Spotify is Sao Paulo, Brazil,
Same.
and then it's Los Angeles. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Ours
Well,
is
dude,
ours
South
is
America,
Brazil.
man. Brazil,
Yeah.
Argentina, Chile,
Yeah.
they're all, I mean, it's There was
They love reggae, dude.
there's a reggae band out of Argentina that actually kind of pop back and forth between LA and Argentina called Los Pericos, and they are fantastic, man.
Nice,
and they do a lot of they'll do a few tunes in English. It's mostly mostly Spanish language, but it just vibes, man. I love it.
I love Spanish reggae. Los Cafres and La Musa, I think you pronounce it. There's some really good ones. Cultura Profética, I think is how you say it.
Dig it, man.
Yeah, dude. I gotta send you some, dude. This shit's dope.
Righteous. That's fantastic. Is there a track on your record, on the record, that you feel is kind of like the perfect entry point for someone who hasn't heard you before?
Ooh, maybe like Voices Unto Jah or Fire Burning, I think, or Lift Up Your Head. One of those three. Just like just kind of like heavy rootsy songs where it's kind of I feel like people expect me to have this certain like flow about I noticed there's a lot of people that like my Foundation record. They like when I'm like spitting, faster a lot. Like, and I've been like into singing more lately, so I'm trying to find a nice balance between the two. And I feel like Voices Unto Jah is like I feel like that would be a good one to send somebody.
All right.
Or Fire Burning, I got Tribal Seeds on it too, like, so
Excellent.
I put my heart into that one, man. A little extra for that one because it was just a big full circle moment. That was my first concert back in 2012. My first reggae show was Tribal Seeds, so it was pretty crazy getting him on the album, getting Steve on the record.
Yeah, that's huge. Like, and you actually have one of my my other fanboy like artists, Kyle Smith. You've done some work with him.
Yeah, Kyle,
dude,
it's out here like in Ventura.
Yeah. I love the dude. My hope is to get him on the show. I'd love to do a collaboration with him sometime, or even you. Like I'm like let me build up to where you guys are like, all right, yeah, come on in. Like, let me do some bars with you guys. But
yeah, man.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to work it, bro.
Kyle's the homie, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you gotta do, man.
Yeah. Well, you guys are so fucking cool. Like,
Hey,
you and
thanks,
Sandy are so awesome, and Kyle's
Thank you,
awesome,
brother.
and I actually just bought. I had bought Kyle. I think he's always touring, dude. He's like one of the hardest working
It's insane.
DIY guys. Yeah,
It's insane. Respect, dude. Respect to Kyle Smith.
yeah.
You can go check out our song "Wicked Ways."
Yeah, it's awesome. And
For the people listening, not you guys.
well, anyway, but yeah, so he was doing a flash sale. I think he was just trying to drum up money to do another tour, and he had this windbreaker for $15. I bought it,
Crazy.
and then today I actually just bought one of your shirts. I bought an Enoch sound shirt. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Thanks,
yeah. I just bought it today. I was like, I wish I had it in time, but I didn't. But
Thank
yeah, I try to support when I can. Like, I get it, man. It's tough,
Yeah,
but
it
and like, I kind of look at you guys like it's like the fox and hound analogy. You know what I mean? So like, you guys are the fox, I'm the hound. I'm trying to chase the fox. Like, you guys are like that one. You're right above where I want to be. So it's like, whenever we used to do track and racing stuff, they always would put me with somebody that's just a little faster than me to push me a little bit harder.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, so mad respect to you guys. So,
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
I see you, and I hear that too, man. It's really important to put yourself around people that make you feel like, that just reminds me when I first joined Iya Terra. I felt so like I was a sponge. I was like, these guys are more seasoned than me.
Right.
They had played live shows before.
Well, I think
And
that
you feel like you're faking it till you made it,
right?
know?
Well, and I
But-
think that if you surround yourself with people who are, at least in your own perception, light years ahead of where you would like to be, whether that's in ability or status or reach or whatever, it inherently is going to push you to be the best version of yourself that you can be, and it's going to push you to put in that extra practice time, or to put in that extra time, with whatever it is. So,
Exactly.
and I mean, you've been doing this for a while now, man. So do you like have like one piece of advice you'd give to, like, say a kid in a garage right now that's trying to break into independent music, that has dreams of doing what you're doing?
Just make, yeah, you're gonna have to wear a lot of hats, but which means, you know, you're gonna have to, it starts with making good music, being true to yourself, man. Just make what you like. Don't worry about fitting into a genre. But also, like, you want to connect with people, you know? Like you just said, kind of in a joking way, like, you want to go to shows. You want to, like, find that scene that you're making music in, which for me was reggae. And it was like, I was going to shows, I was showing face, making sure people saw me, you know? And, like, yeah, then you're gonna have to make the music too. So you're gonna have to, like, be there, be going to the shows, establish yourself in a scene, learn how to make the music, man, and then you're gonna have to learn how to promote it, because that's another step we have to learn nowadays, you know? So, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's a few hats you're gonna have to wear. Like, you can't just expect to make music, you know, as much as, like, we want to do that. When I was in Iya Terra, dude, we had a huge team by the end of it, like, we had a huge team doing a lot of shit for us, and, like, we couldn't do everything ourselves, you know,
Right.
anymore. Like, now I'm back at square one as an independent artist again with just myself, and I'm doing a lot of shit. I'm doing a lot of that by myself again, because I don't have a label support. I don't have a management company right now. So it's like I see what it takes to get done now because of the last 10 years of experience. But now I'm at a spot where it's like I have to do this myself. I have a small team around me that I'm thankful for right now, you know, but it's like a lot of work, dude. I'm kind of looking up the hill again, man. So, like, I don't really have the answers. Like, I really don't, dude, but I would tell someone, like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, you know, if they're sitting in there making music right now. I would just tell them, like, you're going to have to wear a lot of hats, but, like, never fucking fall out of love with just the music, man. Like,
yeah. And the fact that's what we were going to go into our, like, next, like, we're going to talk a little bit about the struggles, and one of them that you mentioned on the intake form was that you have to wear a lot of hats, you know, and a lot of it is you don't know, and what may work from, you know, from the band you were in before, or another band, or a friend in some other band you're watching, it's not always the same.
Yeah.
You know, there's no, like, there's all these gurus out there on YouTube, like, oh, do this and do that. Like, they're suggestions, man. You have to find what works for you. But I guarantee, like, I absolutely agree with you that putting yourself out there, making yourself known, being a face, and not only that, if you're watching, you know, going to shows with bands you already love, those are the same people, and especially that's your jam, the kind of music those are going to be your fans too.
That's your fan base, dude.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So
that right there, man, you go to a show, say you meet a few people, you have a smile on your face, like, you know, when you drop that album, they're gonna remember that. They're gonna be following you now. They're gonna maybe share it. Like, that shit spreads like wildfire. And I gotta big up the reggae community in that aspect, because, man, the crowd, the fan base, I gotta give it to the fan base, because they share the shit out of the artists they like, and they champion the artists they like, almost unlike any other genre I've seen in.
Yeah.
Like, they really, some of these fans make their whole personality these bands that they love. Like, some of these fans make their whole personality the bands that they love, is what I meant to say.
Right.
And, you know, like, that's crazy. Like, I love that level of, it's like being a raging sports fan or something to me. Like, mad respect to those people, dude.
Well, and they look at you like your family. They take you in like this, you know what I mean? Like, it's more of I know what you mean.
Yeah, and with it being reggae music, you know, there's like that core foundation of, like, love, respect, unity, all that stuff, where even if people have gotten far from that, some groups, that's still the foundation of what a lot of these people stand on. So it's cool in that aspect, you know. I'm sure there's some of that in other genres, but, dude, I've been a part of other genres too, you know, like, and I really see it in the reggae scene. The community is really strong. So if you can put your face out there, you know, it's really helpful, man. And that's one thing about living in Utah that I saw get to a point where it's like, I can only put my face in front of so many people's faces in Utah. Like, I need to go be in a place where I can go to shows every week, like every weekend, you know?
Right.
Because for a while, dude, it was like I was living right in LA. So every weekend I was going, you know, even twice a week sometimes I was going with the homies, or if we didn't have shows, I was going to support another band and going and showing face here and this and that. It was a lot, dude. Just a lot of like on the ground stuff. That shit's more important than the social stuff. Even still, man, like you can blow up on social media, but like it's like rolling dice at a casino, dude. Like,
word of mouth is the way to go.
Yeah, man, and live shows, that goes a long way. But there's a balance. Like I don't know, man. Times have changed a lot. They're changing quick, so like social media is a big deal. I'm not trying to downplay that shit, but like, yeah, word of mouth goes a long way in this scene, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think word of mouth and that kind of a grassroots building of a fan base has more staying power. It's more for the, you know, for the long haul, because man, social media, you can be huge one day and then the bottom falls out, man, and nobody remembers you, nobody cares, and they're on to the next shiny object, because it's a world that exists in 30-second snippets or less, you know?
Yeah, that's something I'm reminded of, because like I'll get hit up by people that grew with us over the years. You know, I get hit up every day by people still, man. There's like, we miss Iya, like we need Iya right now, we need Iya Terra, like certain things. It'll make me sad, like part of me like, damn,
I miss it too, man.
But then like with it happening every day, like obviously I have to learn how to heal and shit, so I've learned how to look at it as like we did create a real like grassroots fan base, like you said, you know, it was some real shit that we built, and that's not going anywhere. So like, you know, our music's not going anywhere, that's not going anywhere. I would like, if anybody's watching, I've never done this, this is my time to do this, but like a live apology from one of the band members would be great to the fans, because I'm gonna do that because I feel bad for the fans that we straight up just stopped touring. Like I really wish we could have done a farewell tour, and if I had any say in it, dude, like I would have wanted to do a farewell tour for you guys, but it's just not my call, and that's not what happened. And I think it's fucked up the way that we just kind of disappeared, man. I fucking hate it just as much as you do, and like I apologize to anybody watching, man. Like you didn't deserve to just be left hanging from your band, man. So it's fucked up, dude, but I love you guys for supporting. So yeah, I just wanted to say that to everyone real quick.
Hell yeah, dude. That's good, man. That's good. Yeah. That's real right there, everyone.
That's being vulnerable right there, man. That's laying it all out on the line, brother.
Yeah, man. We had so many, like I could not be what I'm doing without the fans that supported us, you know? So like I just wish we could have done better by them a little bit in the process of this. But you know, it's like a breakup, dude. Like sometimes it just happens. You can't decide exactly how things play out, you know? And
you didn't get a chance on the closure. Yeah, you didn't. The closure of that was not for you to decide, you know?
No, and that's okay, but like somebody's got to come out and like at least acknowledge it, you know? To the
mad
fans.
Respect, dude. Mad respect. And here's the thing too, is that those fans that are telling you like, oh, I miss Ira, they're telling you. You know, they're your fans too, you know, and you can miss it with them, but you're still around, you're doing your thing, and it's popping. Even when I first met you, you know, and we were discussing this, you know, about the Iya Terra, it was pretty fresh back then, but you were like, I'm kind of doing my own thing, and I just knew right away you were gonna be fine, and you know, it may take some time, like you said, you know, you went from having a team support all of those hats to now I gotta wear, you know, most of these hats, if not all of these hats, until you can get to a point where you can take a few hats off, you know. And I feel like Kyle Smith he's at that point where he really needs to take off a few hats, you know, like just let somebody else in, man, you know. And I don't know if it's
I think he knows it subconsciously. He's always posting like, I'm gonna take a year off. I'm gonna take time off, and then like a week later, he's like announcing a tour. It's like
he does. Well, and then
he'll just like he'll go. He's going at his own pace, and he's crushing, dude. So like,
yeah, he is. Yeah,
but you do gotta avoid burnout, you know, not towards him, but this.
Just in general, right? And how do you handle burnout?